Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dave. That's Scott. We are Old Ass Movie Reviews. And today we are going to review the classic. This is a John Carpenter movie. Is it one of his first ones, Scott?
It's one of his earlier ones, yeah.
Very
I don't
early
know. I don't know what order this one showed up, but
Right.
this is 1976, so pretty early on.
1976. Assault on Precinct 13, the original version.
Yes.
It was directed by John Carpenter, written by John Carpenter. I'm going to assume the music was done by John Carpenter.
It definitely
Definitely
was.
sounds like it. The movie also stars Austin Stoker as Ethan Bishop, Darwin Jostin as Napoleon Wilson. I did a little bit of research on those two guys. Stoker had a pretty good career. I don't know how big he was, but I know he looked really familiar when I was watching him in that show last night.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Jostin looked familiar, but I'm not sure. I know I must have seen him in other stuff, but he died back in 98. His career never really took off, and I think that's a damn shame. That guy,
It is a damn shame.
He played this part really well. And we'll talk a little bit about his character in a minute.
Yes, absolutely.
Laurie Zimmer played Lee. Martin West played Lawson. Tony Burton played Wells. That was the other convict with Napoleon.
Right.
The other guy who goes through the tunnel. That was a good character. Nancy Keys played Julie. And she was the girl who was basically wanting to throw the one dude out back into the street to the gangs, to the city gangs. And then there was the little girl. Was that Kim Richards?
I'm not sure. I am not sure on that. Just to back up, this is his second film.
Second film, no kidding.
Second film. Crap. After 1974's Dark Star, we got Assault on Precinct 13, which led him to the unforgettable classic 1978's Halloween. So
that's crazy.
Second film. And man, I got to talk about this right here. This is his second movie, and you are seeing the seeds of every single John Carpenter movie right freaking here. It has Snake Plissken in it. I know. Napoleon Wilson. I swear, I thought, my God, there's Snake. But wait, that's a little bit of Jack.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of Jack. Hey, you got to smoke. You know?
I'm sorry, I spoke over you.
It's all good. But yeah, it's like, oh my God, there's Snake Plissken.
It was amazing. Do you want to tell when I start talking about a movie, I start getting into too much detail.
Okay,
I realize that listening to what was it, Logan's Run. I'm like, why in the hell am I talking so much? And
man, you will give a blow by blow, and that's fine.
I do. That's my problem. And folks, if you're new to this program, this show, spoilers. Everything is a spoiler, just about. I think there's only been one or two movies that we haven't spoiled.
Very few.
And we're going to probably revisit them and then spoil them again.
Oh, absolutely.
But spoilers, we talk about everything. If we think about it, we talk about it. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, anyway. Okay, so thank you all for joining us today on 1976's Assault on Precinct 13. Man, what a hell of a first day for this poor, recently graduated police lieutenant. Oh, man. You mentioned, what is his name? Is it Austin Stoker? Is that who the actor was?
Stoker. Yeah, that was
what a good actor, man. He had such presence on this screen. And you could tell at the beginning, I love the beginning setup. It's just, there's a little funny thing in here about sunspots that will come up again. And it just made me chuckle because he's in the car and you hear on the radio, they're talking about sunspots in the area. I'm like, why are they talking about sunspots? So when he finally gets to this police precinct, let me back up, folks. Sorry. This guy, first time on the job, new police lieutenant, is given kind of a cush assignment to an old rundown police station precinct that is moving. But it is in kind of a war zone ghetto type area.
Man, I lived in bad neighborhoods growing up. I never lived in a neighborhood this bad.
This is a bad neighborhood. But it's supposed to be an easy transition, no problems, you know. But man, does this thing get set up badly for everybody involved. We have a gentleman and what I'm assuming is his daughter or granddaughter driving, trying to find somewhere. It's clear they're lost.
Yeah, it was his daughter, I think. Pretty sure.
Yeah. They get caught in a gang hit, basically.
Yeah.
And the little girl, this is one of the most controversial bits of the movie, and probably one of the first times that a child is killed on screen. It is graphic, not horribly graphic, but it's graphic in the fact that you just watch this sweet little innocent girl just get splattered. And I cannot believe they did that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I actually forgot about that scene. I've only seen the movie once when I was like 13.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was really young when I saw this movie. I just remembered it as that little girl going through all the crap with the officer, with Bishop. I don't know why. It must have been because of the lady, the older woman that was there, Leah, the character who played
Lee. Yeah.
Lee. But other than that, that's the only way I can figure it, because it shocked me last night when that girl bought it. And I was like,
yeah, I was like, whoa.
Holy shit, they just killed the little girl.
And they did it on screen. That
and we
is a rarity.
And we swear a lot, folks. Just letting you know ahead of time. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was something. That was like shocking. Like,
So,
I was like, oh my God, did he just
It was shocking.
boom, she
And
just falls straight back.
And what happens is her guardian, father, grandfather, I'm not sure if it's ever explained.
I just assumed it was her dad.
I'm thinking so, but at times he looked older than he actually was.
Yeah.
So maybe he gets a gun from the ice cream man and chases these gangsters down and kills the guy who killed his daughter.
He's a terrible shot. I just want to say, if you're going to grab a gun and you don't know how to shoot, get up close.
Yeah, real close, especially with the pistol.
Waste bullets, because he needed more bullets.
So he ends up having to run because he's out of bullets, and he runs to this precinct that's closed down and basically invites holy hell down upon every innocent person in this precinct. And the gangs come for this guy. And do they ever? For some reason that's never really explained, there's some blood marking of this place that means the gangs will come and they will not stop. And it's just, it was a neat, this is where I'm going to nitpick the movie. It's little stuff like this. It doesn't, I need a little more info. I just need a little bit more about why these gangs are so hell bent on this. And they were almost supernatural, dude. They cleared the streets when they thought cops were coming. They hid bodies. They moved. It's like, okay, again, nitpicking.
Well, that's what the one guy said. He says, I can't believe it. At least they explained what happened.
Yes, they did, thankfully.
I mean, I was guessing already what was going on. Like when you look out there and the cop's body's gone, I looked over at Ken and I was like,
oh shit.
The gangs grabbed the body so you can't see it from the street.
Yep.
And Kat's
they were
like,
smart, man.
He asked me a question that was a really good question, and it was about the power or something like that. I said, well, they killed the power into the building only. I said, so they
phone
can't
lines.
make phone calls.
The power,
they can't do this. And I said, but they left the lights on out in the parking lot and around, going down the street. I said, so if anybody's just driving by, it just looks like a regular, regular day. I said, here's my nitpick. The captain of that precinct 13, that the lieutenant was taking over for like 2 days or whatever it was going to be.
Just the night, just till 4 a.m.
Well, he also said, well, I'm supposed to be at the new precinct house or whatever at I'm supposed to leave here at 7 and be there by 8 or something.
Yeah.
Or 7. He's supposed to be there by 7, I think is what he said. When he wasn't there at 7 o'clock, nobody called or came looking. Yeah. Like, to me, I would think at least somebody would have called him when they didn't get a phone call. They'd have been like, Bob, you're already over there. Why don't you just go in and find, ask him, give him a ride over, find out if his car's broke down, something. But that didn't happen. So that's my one little nitpick. This isn't as violent as I remembered it. Like when I was 13, I mean, it's violent, folks. This is a violent movie. This is a violent movie. But as a kid watching it, I just remembered way more violence. I remember that an explosion that happens in this movie being a lot bigger.
Yeah,
and it's
my memory of this was different.
Remember a movie differently.
Well, I was afraid that I had mixed it up with the remake because I've seen the remake and I remember thinking, hey, that was pretty decent. But I don't remember much about it. So I think I got a little bit of it confused. I had forgotten about the girl. I thought things played out a little differently.
Right.
Um, but this time watching it, since we've watched so much Carpenter, I'm seeing Carpenter, and we talked about this when we did Prince of Darkness. Carpenter
Right.
has a type. The actors look the same, they act the same,
Mhm.
even if they're not the same.
Yeah.
One of my favorite
There
characters in
are
this
roles.
movie, yes, you have archetypes in the Carpenter universe,
Yeah.
and those
Perfectly
people are going
put.
to fill it. Yes,
Yeah.
and that's
Perfectly put. Yes.
my favorite character. The one who I think was just had their shit together was Lee.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
smokes, she was like, damn. There was something really cool about the way she played that character. And it's like, damn, you're good.
And I didn't look her up to see if she had been in any other movies. I'm going to assume that woman had a pretty good career.
I
I
would
don't
hope
know,
so. I
but
would hope so.
she had a good character. She had a good writing for her character. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to say anybody out there saying there's never a tough girl in Hollywood. This girl just about stole that movie.
Damn
Because
near.
there's a couple of times Bishop and Napoleon are talking like, okay, we're basically the only ones left. What do we need to do? They're trying to figure something out. And she's the one who comes up with, hey, we need to go in the basement. Or I
Yeah.
think she was the one who came up with the basement idea.
Yeah.
And they're just looking at it like, well, if we go down there, we're trapped. And if we stay up here, we're trapped. You know, we can't go upstairs. There's nothing to hide behind. Can't stay down here. They're going to come through on, all these different angles. And it was just, she, like you said, she was a good character. She was tough, man. That she was a broad. That is a
Yeah.
woman you want in your corner.
Oh,
If
absolutely.
if hell's a coming and it's a popping, that you want that woman with you on the plains fighting Indians. You do
Well, that's
not
just
want.
it.
She was tough.
She brought so much
Hmm.
gravitas to that character,
Yeah,
just with so little. And it's like, well done, well done.
yeah,
Everybody
yes,
is strong in this movie. Even the annoying young woman when she laughs at the cop falling over dead. Officer
yeah.
so and so fell over, and like right then she's stressed. She knows he's dead, and this poor woman she cracks.
See, I didn't think she figured out he was dead. I think she didn't realize what was going on
I think
until
she
that one
originally,
cop.
yeah.
Yeah, until that one
It was the
cop.
way she said it though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bishop came over and stood there and looked, and she looks at Bishop and she's smiling. Then she stops smiling, and she realizes there's something wrong.
yeah. I gotta hold on.
Mhm.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, everything's cool. Just my noise canceling headphones act weird sometimes. And I thought there was a helicopter crashing through the house. And it's like, okay,
Oh,
but there's not.
that's
I'm still here.
yeah. I
Yeah, it's
didn't
the
see a
government.
helicopter. If there
It's a
is, we
black
just
one.
spent all of our budget on a
We
helicopter.
did. We did. Go see our discussion on Attack of the Killer Tomatoes if you want to get that reference. And hey, David Carroll, thanks for picking up and watching that movie. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
Oh yeah, that was great. I'm gonna watch the sequel. I gotta watch the sequel, the second one for sure.
Yeah, definitely,
Um,
definitely. But back to this. Great cast of characters. This okay, so basically our main cast is stuck in a precinct under siege and they just
no,
have to make it through the night.
almost no weapons.
Almost no weapons, almost no ammo. I did read that this was inspired by Rio Bravo. Um,
I could see that.
so I thought that was interesting,
Yeah,
and I've seen a lot of movies like this, these siege movies, and it's a neat subgenre, if you
right,
will. And there's something I will go on and on and on about my love for Carpenter, but the music always works, and he just does something unique in his universe. It just feels alive, but
right.
it's gritty, it's dirty. I don't care which movie it is; they're all have that just. There's a dirt to them that's just really freaking cool.
There's especially something about a 70s film. This was a exploitation film.
Yeah, it
This I
is.
would say this was a white exploitation film because most of the people in it were white.
Yeah.
Um, the main two of the main characters were black guys, but you had said something the other day or texted something the other day about there's diversity in this
Oh, always
not being like the main guy Bishop is
is
the
black.
black guy. He's the lieutenant. He's the guy you're following through this. And
Hmm.
then you start following Napoleon. And you come to
Yeah.
find out Napoleon's he's such a badass that Bishop knows who he is when he comes in, and they tell him who he is, and he
Everybody
knows who
knows
the
who he
other guy
is.
is. These guys are bad, bad men. They are
This is
so
Snake.
bad.
This is early Snake, man.
Yeah,
Everybody knows.
everybody knows who these guys are. And the funny thing is, when you get to meet Napoleon, you realize whoever he killed probably deserved it.
Maybe,
Because
maybe, but
I'm guessing everybody he ever killed really, really, really deserved some killing. That's
mm,
just the way that I got that character being played by that actor.
yeah,
That's the way that I took it from the lines, because he keeps waiting for Bishop to ask him, why did you kill all those people, or why, he keeps asking for that question, and Bishop
yeah.
never asks him. He never
No,
asks him.
no. He asked him the other question that everybody asks: why the name Napoleon?
Yeah, why Napoleon?
Because John Carpenter thought it sounded good, and it does.
Yeah, it's a good
It
name.
works. It
It's a good
works.
name for him.
And it's cool, and I love watching this. This is early Carpenter. You
Right.
see you see the framework for every single movie to come after it.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me. It just how some directors just leave their mark all over a movie, and Carpenter is one who
Oh
just
yeah.
continues to do it over and over. And if you like John Carpenter, you're gonna love Assault on Precinct 13. That's just the
There,
bottom line.
and this is a exploitation film. This is a siege film. This is, by the time that movie is over, and I don't normally root for the bad guy. I don't normally root for a
Yeah,
villain, but I was just sitting there and I liked how, I don't know, I'm sure you noticed, but in this movie, they never show any other cop's face except for the very cops that you have to see, the people in the precinct
that's
house
true.
and Bishop. Every other cop, except for the two cops in the car, who you have to see who those guys are because they have dialogue and they're driving around. But other than that, you don't see any of the cops' face. You only see 3 or 4 of the gang members' faces really clear. The rest of the gangs are all in shadow and black, and you can't see
Yeah,
them. So it's all very, very us against them. And it
yeah,
puts you in a spot when you're watching this movie. And I recommend watching this movie, me personally, I recommend you watching this movie with your surround sound on and your lights turned down low, because it gives you a good edgy feeling when you're
mm.
watching it like that. But that one cop comes over at the very end, and he's gonna try and
Oh
cuff
yeah.
Napoleon. And Bishop's like, no, no, that's not needed. And the guy keeps doing it. And I'm sitting there thinking, dude, this is a lieutenant telling you not to cuff this guy.
I know, right? I
So
thought the
finally,
same thing.
Bishop just pushes the cop, and he's like, what the hell? And he says, I'd be proud to walk out with you, Napoleon. And Napoleon just looks at him and goes, I know you would.
I almost thought I was here's my dream ending of this.
I
Something
think you and I have the
happens,
same dream ending. Go
something
ahead.
happens and Bishop lays a key down or leaves a door open
Yep.
and just looks at him, gives him a nod and turns around so he doesn't see anything. And that's how I wanted to see it end, because you're right, there's something about Napoleon Wilson that made him out to be this notorious murderer. But
Yeah.
by the end of the movie, you're thinking, is he?
Yeah. Yeah. There's something wrong with the way he's being treated by society at this point, because you're like, that's not the guy that you've portrayed. This guy is not. Whose toes did he step on?
This
What
is what you're
what
seeing.
I
This
was
could be
thinking,
somebody who was worked for one of those 3-letter agencies or something.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But it would have been nice to have that guy Bishop hand him a shirt, like a new change of
Oh
clothes,
yeah,
and like you said, hand him the keys and just turn around and walk out and say, Napoleon, what was his name? Napoleon Johnson?
Wilson.
Napoleon Wilson died today, and just
Yeah,
walks up the stairs. And then you find out what would be great, and I don't know how you would do this now. They could have probably done it in the new movie. Uh, you find out that that guy is actually Snake Plissken.
see,
Yeah, if
and
somebody
here's the
come in and
thing.
go, yeah, we're looking for like the very last scene you see with
Yeah,
him,
dude,
Bishop, and the other guy.
dude, don't even joke. Don't even joke. How many times we've already tied Big Trouble in Little China into Prince of Darkness?
Oh
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
so Escape from New York takes place in, I think, 1999, if I'm not mistaken, or
1999,
94
right?
or something like that. It's in the 90s. This movie clearly takes place in 76. That could be Snake Plissken in that cell. That Wilson could be Snake.
He escaped from wherever he wound up going because they said Plissken had the death penalty. Like in how many countries and in how many places he kept escaping from.
That's freaking Snake. You and I looked at that and saw Snake, and that's Snake. That's it. It's beautiful. What a beautiful thing. Thank you, John. So, folks, I highly recommend this. Dave?
Man, if John Carpenter's watching this, thank you.
God bless you. Thank you for all the...
Do what? I'm sorry?
I was going to say thank you for all the years of entertainment.
Yes, exactly. You made the 13-year-old boy in me just have fun watching a very violent movie. And thanks for letting the good guys win in the long run. In the long run, the good guys win.
Yeah, there's a lot here that we could really break apart. There are some social messages hidden in here, but they're not swung with a hammer, and that's what's beautiful about this.
It's like They Live, like the movie They Live. The social messaging there is really strong, but
it's artistic.
Swinging it. Yeah,
it's artistic.
Swinging it around, you know.
They weren't like, hey, we need to make a movie to say we need to send a message. It's here's a movie. This is what's going on. This is how I feel, and this is how I want things to play out. And it just portrays that message, you know. And that's what's really cool. And so
it was just a good movie. Good movie. I highly recommend it. If you're a John Carpenter fan and you haven't seen this movie,
good God, what's wrong with you?
Watch it. Good Lord, you're not a Carpenter fan. Even I've seen it twice. And I'll probably watch it more. I really will.
There's a few Carpenter films I still haven't seen, but we'll get there.
Yeah. We're working our way through slowly.
We'll get there.
You said Dark Star is
his first film, 1974's Dark Star.
That's going to have to go on our list for in a couple of months. Maybe
absolutely. We'll do definitely return to Carpenter because we need to do Ghost of Mars as well. One of my favorites that everybody hates. So look, Pam Grier, I'm there. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Pam Grier's in it.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
So anyway, thanks again, folks, for tuning in, watching, listening, wherever you are on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, Spotify, Apple, whatever. Drop us a line. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Tell us to shut up or talk more. I don't care. Just talk to us. That would be awesome. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Hit the like, share, and subscribe. And go ahead, Dave. Take it away.
You can tell us to shut up, but we won't.
That's right. We won't. Catch you next week.